actually going to be finally into this loading screen. It's going to be a just for fun, friendly exhibition, Google versus Riot. For those of you that are just joining us, Google are your AHGL champions, taking out Amazon 2-1. It was pretty commanding fashion in that game 3, despite an Amazon resurgence with an Elise pentakill, which is pretty insane.
Yeah, it was just so fun to watch and incredibly entertaining. And as far as entertainment goes, there's nothing like casting or playing in front of a live crowd. We're here at the Red Bull Studios in Santa Monica. We've got a live crowd here. This show match is getting started. Give these guys a little noise.
We are definitely going in, and now we are finally into the game. So just to break down the roles once again, for those of you that are just tuning in, it's going to be Frozenfire in the top lane on his beloved Rumble, facing off against Socratocracy on Shen. In the jungle, it's going to be Ravenite on the almost never seen jungle Tryndamere, dragging that big old sword, facing off against a jungle Nautilus, which we saw in Game 3 completely shut a Vayne down. In the mid lane, gonna be KT Flash on Lux, going up against CTSE on Annie. We'll have to see how many Flash Tibbers we get at this point. And in the bottom lane, it's going to be Riot, Zale, and Bach on the Misfortune Thresh kill lane, going up against Tomato Orange and Yarius on that Tristana Zyra. And now some aggressive play coming out from Google, an aggressive ward. They want to make sure that they can see that Nautilus. I guess he's typically been grabbing that early red buff to get the snowball rolling, because Nautilus getting that early kill really helps mitigate how weak his clear can be.
Exactly, and it's kind of a situation of you don't necessarily need the blue buff at the beginning of your first rotation, because during your first rotation you're not really going to run out of mana. He just doesn't have that many abilities that he can spam to run So if you start off on the red buff, I mean, you're not really giving anything up. You're still going to get the blue buff, and you still have the mana regen right about the time that you need it. And you secure the red buff, which is like, it's the heavier gank buff. Like, blue buff is kind of considered the heavier farm buff because you always have mana. Red buff is the heavier gank buff. So as long as you can secure that, it means you're going to be able to secure your presence on the lanes, and you're not going to give an opportunity for a team to take that away from you and lose that true damage over time, and that's low.
As Tristana and Zyra taking those golems, take a look. Malphus, we got a lane swap.
Asterix actually just going to go ahead and pop the smite just to make sure that Flash doesn't steal away that blue wraith. If he had been able to do so, it would have been extremely problematic for CTSE, because giving that much experience to the mid laner solo at the beginning of the game can be really, really problematic. And Flash, he's not done trying to be annoying. He's going to throw down another Lucent Singularity over there. I don't think they're going to be able to actually apply any more pressure at this one. And Riot have initiated a 2v1 swap.
Riot certainly have. This is the kill lane that we were talking about, and they want to make sure that Frozenfire is not able to get going in a straight-up 1v1. Rumble would have the ability to potentially bully Shen out. Socratocracy has admitted that he is not the strongest 1v2, but on Shen is such a great 1v2 presence that you don't really have to be good at 1v2. You just gotta be able to throw Vorpal Blades.
Exactly. I mean, it gives him a lot of sustain on the tower as well if he's able to last hit with those Vorpal Blades, activates that. Nice light binding going down there, going to get a little bit of harassed on the CTSE, auto attack not going to land. And because Flash was so obnoxious, and because Asterix chose to spurn that smite, CTSE had to leave the lane and help out, because his Nautilus was just about to die to the red buff. So because he was able to push him out of lane by messing with the jungler, he actually got himself a nice experience advantage. And so far, Flash is he's been using that about as well as he can. But CTSE, oh, that anti-burst, just everything I just said became completely irrelevant. He burst way the hell down.
Yeah, the amount of damage coming out from CTSE is pretty insane, and that's Annie. Annie, she's got the longest attack, one of the longest attack ranges in the game. She's got one of the lowest AD scaling on her auto attacks in the game as well, so it doesn't really help her that much. Socratocracy getting that ever-needed cannon minion. That's always what you got to watch for, is are they able to pick up the cannon minions in these 1v2 situations, because that gives you a ton of experience and a ton of gold. And the jungler, Nova Asterix, making sure the Socratocracy gets the support that he needs. Good teammate.
Yeah, he just wants to make sure that no one's going to go for any kind of really aggressive play. They want to keep their tower up as long as they can, so he's going to kind of just sit down there and babysit it. Frozenfire's got a lot of wave clear coming out from Flamespitter. And this is actually when we were doing a little bit of our research before the game. Google made a point of mentioning that Frozenfire has really been working a lot on his 2v1, because they recognize how often that situation is going to come up. And given the fact that he's a Rumble main, he loves playing Rumble more than anything else, I can only assume that a good chunk of the training he's been doing for 2v1s has been on Rumble.
That very well may be true, and Bach has not really gone for anything quite yet. The death sentences have not been coming out, and if they have been coming out, they haven't been hitting their target, and Frozenfire is sitting extremely extremely healthy. Sakatoxy, on the other hand, taking a lot of pain. Zale and Bach are opting more to take the turret. Bach actually taking a turret hit for that whip as Sakatoxy puts a pain down onto Tomato Orange, but the hook going down onto Yarius. Yarius getting ignited, the flash being forced out, and Sakatoxy and Nova Osprey is just gonna back off of that one. So Tomato Orange, the cleanse was burned, and on Yarius, the flash was burned. So I would expect Nova Osprey to stick around, maybe try to turn this one around. Shen, actually a surprisingly good turnaround ganker.
Exactly, because he can just throw down the Shadow Dash. Anytime the flash forward comes out, Asterix going to get hit by the grasping roots, though. That might be enough to turn this engagement around. He's finally going to get the auto attack down. There's the red buff, there's the root, there's everything that Nautilus ever wanted. But it's just come a little bit too late. Google's bottom lane, they're going to be able to back away.
Google's going to be able to back away. And Frozen Fire taking a lot of pain out from Zale and Bach. I think Bach and Zale finally settled into this lane, and they're doing a great job of farming away. But Tomato Orange is doing a great job of keeping up dead even. That's what you want in these 1v2s. You want to watch for those that top lane experience, the top lane minion kills, top lane experience, as well as the AD carry minion kills and experience. And both of these guys are playing these matchups so well. There's not really that much to separate these except for the cooldowns as Sakatoxy gets a grab onto Yari. Sakatoxy continuing to put the pain down, but he is going to be forced back. Wow, he went super low on that one.
Yeah, drops down about 90 HP. He's going to get forced out of lane for the first time. Going to have to go back. He'll be the first one to go back of the two solo laners as Frozen Fire's just been hanging out in the mid lane. In the top lane, rather, I should say. In the mid lane, we saw Lux actually went back, and that allowed Andy to catch back up in the CS. So now they're pretty much dead even, despite the fact that Flash has built a pretty decent little CS advantage for himself. He will have the advantage of having a challenge of Harmony, whereas Andy is still not going to have any item other than just consumables. So Annie's effective net worth is basically 0 right now, minus whatever gold she has in her pocket. Whereas Lux will at least have that mana regeneration and the magic resistance.
And she has about 1,200 gold in her pocket, so she's definitely going to be building something fairly soon. There's a lot of different ways you can do Annie, but the trick is get damage as fast as you possibly can as the first turret goes down in favor of Google.
Yeah, if he just banks up and goes back for a first item needlessly large rock, I'm going to freak out.
Oh wow, that's the reset coming up. Raven Knight rolling in onto Riot. Zale. Misfortune does not have any escapes, but the Flay, that's the problem with Tryndamere. You can't really lock someone out.
Yeah, there's going to be so much CC coming out, and I thought for even just a moment that Riot were going to be okay with going for the 2v2 in the bottom lane, just because Thresh does so well against Tristana. If you land a hook, the AD carry's automatic reaction is to use their escape to immediately get away. But Flay is amazing against Tristana because you can actually use Flay to cancel Rocket Jump. Raven Knight coming forward, he's just going to try to get back out, shoots out the hook. Spinning slash plus a good head on his shoulders is going to get him out of that one alive.
And this is going to be a counter swap coming out from the side of Google. They've gotten the turret, and they're completely okay with going back and getting a straight up 2v2, a Vamp Scepter, as well as a Longsword being picked out from Tomato Orange. So he's going to be hitting pretty darn hard.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting as well because you don't see teams, basically, like you said, they want to go for the 2v2. They want to actually try to force this fight right now because they feel that having that tower down is going to give their 2v2 enough of a gold lead to be out ahead and to win these exchanges. You don't see teams swap up very often at this point because Dragon Control becomes a major part of the game. That hook's going to be just short.
That was a clutch jump from Tomato Orange. He waited until the death sentence was just about to hit him in the hitbox. Nova Asterix is there. I think Riot is getting frustrated that this turret is not going down, but with the disengage and the wave clear, the natural wave clear coming out from Tomato Orange, that Tristana is a great pick.
Exactly, and they want to look for that late game presence as well. Tomato Orange is just going to try to stand back, hit that 703 range on Tristana, and just continue to right-click people down. MF is the early lane bully, but Tristana is the late game carry. Here comes a 4-man dive at top, or not. Okay.
Flash being burned for Tomato Orange. CTSE and Nova Asterix are sniffing around that blue buff. I think CTSE, he's getting tired of using mana. He's getting tired that his cycles are taking too long. He wants that blue buff.
That was almost really bad. Google did an excellent job of getting away from that engagement before it turned nasty. You see Andy rolling up level 7 with the stun up. You know something really nasty is about to happen. But Lux was just there just in time. They responded to that gank. They had it warded out. They knew what was going on, and they were able to get there just in time to keep their AD carry and support from getting picked.
They certainly were. Bach making sure that he takes control of this top lane so that they can't get ganked up because Zale and Bach, Misfortune is a lane bully, and she has not been really able to do that much bullying. Cleanse and Flash is down for Tomato Orange, so that may very well change. She still has that hippity hop, and she's also rocking the Firefighter Tristana. That's a pretty rare skin, actually.
Oh yeah, we got the Candy Cane MF as well. So there's actually quite a number of really excellent skills on this skins rather on display here.
That's very true. Tomato Orange continuing to pressure on, getting some good auto attacks down onto Riot Zale. Zale still hasn't backed it. He's got 2,200 gold.
Oh, just short on the steal.
Yeah, almost got it. But Zale actually has 2,200 gold in his pocket. So when he comes back, he's going to be able to buy a BF sword and change. I think he's going to wait for the potential Vamp Scepter as CTSE gets snared out, but Flash doesn't have the laser. If Flash had the laser, potentially could have been able to kill him.
That's actually going to work out really well for Flash anyway, because even though he wasn't able to get the steal, he scared Nova Asterix into picking it up for himself anyway. He thought, I don't know what else is coming. I need to go ahead and take this down. KT Flash could be in trouble.
Oh, that counter flash out from KT Flash, using his namesake to bait out the Flash ultimate. It was a good shot. It was a good shot, but just wasn't enough for CTSE.
That's one of the things about Annie, is that she's, to a certain extent, a little bit predictable, because as soon as she hits level 6, if you see her with the stun up, you know what she's looking for every time. She's looking for that flash taper. She just wants to get that stun down, wants to get that big burst damage, because she just wants to smell that burning.
She does want to smell that burning. And the Burning Bear is there. There goes the ultimate down onto Flash. Flash gets knocked up. Ravenite is there. His ghost has been popped. Are they going to be able to save KT Flash? He will not be able to save KT Flash. CTSE getting first blood. And Ravenite, he is up level 6. But the Shen ultimate coming in. Can they lock up? They will, as Ravenite picks up CTSE, the equalizer going down as well, and Sakatakashi actually canceled that Shen ultimate. Nova Asterix and Frozen Fire exchanging blows as Bach comes down. Sakatakashi is there as well. Will they be able to lock them up? Bach is rolling in, but the grasping roots will not be enough, but the death sentence will, as the stun goes down. Flash coming out from Frozen Fire. The ignite is burned, but it will not be enough as Frozen Fire survives. That is what we were talking about with that support Zyra as Tomato Orange rolls in to fight Riot Zale, but he forgot that this is a misfortune he's laning against.
Exactly, but fortunately Tristana's got that fight reset button. So it's like, I don't like this anymore. You need to go away. You need to go away now. Yarius. A two-man grasping root when the angle was almost impossible to hit. Locks them up and then immediately goes out with the ult as well. Here's the hook on a Tomato Orange.
Fox going down on Tomato Orange and Riot Zale picking up the kill with the last edge of his bullet time. He went back and I said it, he was going to buy a BF sword and change. That's exactly what he did. Grabbed the BF sword, grabbed an attack speed dagger, and it's already paying dividends. He is bullying out that Tristana who just picked up a Bilgewater Cutlass.
All right, so CTSE, he didn't go for the full aggro build. He was like, I could buy an endlessly large rod, or I could buy items that make a little bit more sense. It looks like he's going to be going for the first item, Rod of Ages. That's pretty important on Annie, because a lot of her rotation, in order to get it down, she has to get in very close range. That W cone is great. It does a lot of damage, but you have to be very, very close to use it. Google going to take advantage of a little lull in the action to try to pick themselves up a dragon. Now they turn on a Nova Asterix, but he's pretty tanky. He's pretty tanky.
He's fairly tanky. He's got the double cloth armor. He doesn't have any major tanky items yet. You typically see the Spirit of the Ancient Golem coming out first from the Nautilus. But CTSE dropping the bear onto Yari's face. He is not happy that they denied him that kill. Lux Laser actually only going to hit a couple members, but the equalizer is going to drop CTSE as Tomato Orange goes in. He gets one reset. He's going to hippity hop his way. Oh. I hate to say it, man, but fail hop.
Yeah, that wall, it was on break. It was during the holidays. It started a little, maybe it was a little depressed. Maybe its girlfriend broke up with it. Started doing a little comfort eating. Got a little bit thicker. Tristana wasn't able to get out on the other side of it, and because of that, Shen will be able to get out with his life. Bach isn't done with the aggression.
That was some good aggression coming out from Bach, forcing Tomato Orange to take a couple of tower hits, and it's those micro plays that can do something like push a team that is advancing, that is ahead off of a turret. Well played by Bach.
Exactly. If you can put, especially onto the AD carry, if you can force the AD carry to start feeling a little bit nervous about their HP total, that's a pretty good way to stop a push in its tracks.
It really is, and I want to look at this jungle Tryndamere, because this jungle Tryndamere just picked up a static shiv first item. What do you think about that, Malphus?
I mean, he's going to have some pretty good clear here. Flash going to go ahead and grab up his blue buff. The static shiv going to help him out with a lot of good burst damage. He's very, very mobile, so whenever he crits, he's going to be able to, move around and basically reset the static shiv a lot sooner because of spinning slash and his extreme mobility. Lux can go ahead, ult down the wave, try to clear this out as best they can. Google don't want to give up any sort of building damage they don't have to right this early on in the game.
And Google at 14 minutes in are starting to pull ahead. 18,400 gold to Riot, 17,200 gold, about 1,000 gold lead. 3 kills to 2. Turrets are even, but that first dragon going to Google has really sort of pushed them ahead slightly. My question is, how are they going to handle the Tristana mid-game drop? Because she really does drop so hard. That's that power curve. It's the U curve, where she is super scary in the beginning, and then she becomes, it's a really tough, her kit just doesn't work that well in the mid game, but then in the late game, when her attack range starts coming back in, she can take out Baron from outside of the pit, and she can just do so many different cool things.
Exactly, and they're deferring a lot of farm to her. They're trying to get her back caught up with MF. Frozen Fire just running the front. He knows with the scrap shield up, he's going to be fast enough to avoid the death sentence. So he's not too concerned about playing that aggressively. And right now, it looks like Google's solution is just to focus on Tryndamere split pushing, pull away a really important target, which right now they've pulled off MF, and that's going to give them the lane presence they need in the mid lane to maybe be able to take down this outer tower.
Bach hooking a minion, and KT Flash actually hooks Bach. Bach flashing out though, Frozen Fire getting baited in, Equalizer going down. Bach is going to be taken out by that, but Nova Ostrix is going to get completely locked up. Shen ultimate going into turret is still up and is still pounding on this Google squad. Finally it goes down. Oh wow, but Zale rolling in. And will they be able to drop Ravenite, as Ravenite is just on a complete tear. CCSE helping Zale get a double kill, but not before Ravenite has his revenge, dropping Zale.
So Ravenite, he knows exactly how much damage he's capable of doing on Tryndamere. He's going in on these kamikaze missions again and again because he's confident in his ability to outscale. Melee carries in League of Legends, you don't really see them all that often because of how much CC there is in the game. It's very, very difficult to actually get big enough to hard carry a game as a melee carry. But if anyone's going to be able to do it, it's going to be Tryndamere and his ability to divide death for, what is it, 4 or 5, 6 seconds at 3rd rank of the ultimate?
Yes, it
Something
will
like
be.
that.
Well, let's take a look really quick. It's going to be...
But he knows exactly how much damage he can do.
5
if
seconds,
he's going in, it's 5 seconds to rank 3?
Yep, 5 seconds.
Okay. He knows if he goes in and trades a kill with MF, it's going to end up being more beneficial for his team. So he doesn't mind trading kills back and forth. He's able to run it down right down to the very wire and pick up that kill with his last breath.
And right now, what he's been doing is he's been pressuring this jungle. Nova Ostrix just hit level 9. Look at Bach. Bach is level 8. Comparatively, Ravenite is level 10. Zale picking up this red buff. So I think he wants to be able to kite this Tryndamere a little bit. Zale was not too happy that he was getting completely pressured, and he couldn't really do a whole lot against Ravenite once Ravenite got in there. Now Ravenite's grabbing a Bilgewater Cutlass, so it's almost slow, counter slow, because Ravenite's going to be beelining for that misfortune.
Exactly. That's going to be the high priority target every time. And whenever he's in a split push situation like this, the Bilgewater Cutlass is extremely effective as well, having that extra slow and the sustain. And Ravenite's not too concerned about Socratocracy right now. He's just continuing the right clicks.
But Socratocracy putting some good pain down. The taunt goes down onto Ravenite. Ravenite does not have his ultimate. It's about to come up. Socratocracy having that Sunfire cape, so he's got a lot of tankiness. And then add on the Horrible Blaze. So in a straight up trade, Socratocracy is going to be healing up a ton. Yarius getting some good control around the Baron side river as Ravenite continues to push.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that MF has gone for a little bit more of a right-click build right now. She's got a BF sword and a pickaxe, which normally says, okay, going first item Infinity Edge. The pickup of the longsword, I'm trying to, maybe she's going to get a really early Last Whisper. I mean, I guess, but that doesn't really make sense. There's not a whole lot of armor stacked on this other side. We'll have to see where the build develops here for Zale. I do expect to see a Randuin's Omen sooner rather than later on this MF, though. Normally you see AD carries pick up a defensive item as a 6th item, but when you're getting died by a champion like a Tryndamere, even a relatively early Randuin's Omen, which normally isn't very good, could be very effective.
Nova Ostrix flashing in, but there's a full disengage from Yarius, and Lux, just for good measure, getting the snare out. This Riot squad, they like being able to get picks, but Google has made the counter picks. They really have.
Yeah, every single time. They know what they need to do to disengage. They're just trying to keep themselves safe. The longer this game goes, the more confident they'll be in their composition. Tristana becomes so safe in the very, very late game once she has that extended range from her passive. We talked about melee carries. A big thing that they need is just to have as much gold as possible and have, I mean, their items become so much more effective just because of how well their stats scale up. So the longer this goes, the better it's going to be for Google.
And now Ravenite picking up another turret in the bottom lane. That puts Google 3 turrets to 1, and they are still sitting on about a 2,000 gold lead, so they haven't been able to make any ground on Riot, but that's just the way they like it. They're gonna stall out this mid-game, wait until Tomato Orange gets to his late-game terrifying self, and Riot Zale scales down, because Misfortune, she's a bit tough to make plays with in the late game that don't involve her ultimate.
And really, really good zoning coming out there from KT Flash, able to slow down the Riot side. They can't get there in time to actually contest the dragon at all. Google going to grab their second dragon of the game.
And Bach getting caught out, and he's going to get all but killed. Ravenite swooping in to finish him off. So that is going to be another kill on the side of Google. Now 7 kills to 6, and Google just took that Q. All right, support's down. One of the hook threats is down. We're going to push.
And that was a little bit of an unintentional kill funneling. I don't think they necessarily wanted to do that. It was just that was where the breakpoint. Lux with an amazing light binding onto 2 people, but no one's in range to actually follow up on it.
Look at this pain coming out from KT Flash. KT Flash has landed almost every binding so far and is just playing so well at this point. Has the needlessly large rod as well as the Athene, so these lasers are going to be coming more and more often. Frozen Fire, there it is again, KT Flash. Let's take a look at what his, with the blue buff as well as the Athenes, he is on an almost 50-second cooldown on Final Spark, and that says nothing to his regular abilities, which hit exceptionally hard as well. Google sieging down this mid turret. I don't know if Riot has an answer.
Yeah, they're going to miss the death sentence. The light binding is going to come out one more time. And Frozen Fire, he still has the equalizer available. So if they need that, if they get a good catch on someone, if they hit Zale in a binding, he's going to be able to either drop that down for initiation, or if they're getting chased out, he can just drop it down to cover their tracks. It's not very often you see the equalizer used for disengage, but in a composition like this, where the longer you stall the game out, the better it goes for you, you can use the equalizer for whatever you need to.
You really can. You can use it to farm, although that's rarely what you use it for. The primary choice is to lock people up, and with the team composition that Google has, they've got so many different opportunities to do that, especially when you look at Yarius' kit. Frozen Fire sneaking out, he overheats, he steals out the thing, but the death sentence going down the play as well, and Frozen Fire, will he be able to go down? Yes, he will! Bach with the whip, Riot Zale making sure with the bullet time insurance policy, Riot has to do something now.
Ravenite going to get caught out in the top lane. Socratocracy likes the exchange so far. Going to continue trying to chunk this Tryndamere down. He's got the Blade of the Ruin King, though. The fight turns in favor of Ravenite. He's going to back out as Socratocracy disengages. He's going to go ahead and heal himself up and try to get a little work done in this tower.
And there's nothing Riot can do at this point, because Socratocracy, who is supposed to be the split push threat, he's getting out-shened.
Yeah, exactly. But he might not get out-shened with Bach in the area.
He might not. Bach is there. The taunt going out as well as the ultimate. Ravenite has 1 HP, and now he's going to go down. Socratocracy picking up the kill, getting the ignite. But while that was happening, Tomato Orange was able to drop Riot Zale. Zale, without the Bach security detail, was able to pick him off, and Socratocracy, distracted by that engage, was not able to stand united in to save Zale. CTSE, however, is there. Nova Ostrix trying to set him up. The flash is going in, but he's not in range for the Tibbers. There's the counter engage, and KT Flash dropping Nova Ostrix, and I believe CTSE is going to be next. CTSE, though, is he going to survive? Yes, he will. The stand united, but the equalizer is going to try and finish him off. CTSE is potentially going to... How much HP does he have? This is insane. He's got 22 HP.
Yarius hooked under the tower. He's going to go down. The play is there. Socratocracy picks up that kill. The supports are controlling these fights again and again and again. Light binding down into Bach. He'll fall down. Frozen Fire picking that up, and Google grabbed the mid-inner tower.
So when the dust settles, that was Ravenite and Yarius going down for Bach, Zale, and Nova Ostrix, and almost CTSE. So that was a 3 for 2. But now Google are controlling the buffs. They have the potential to control the dragon, and they could very easily go for the Baron. They have so much different catch potential. They have so much disengage. Nova Ostrix warding his own jungle. He knows what they're doing. He's desperately trying to give Riot Zale something. They need something. They need to catch a lucky break, catch Google out of position, but Google is playing so well. They're riding the high of this championship, and it shows.
So Riot Zale, turns out what he's going for is a relatively standard Bloodthirster Last Whisper build. He just bought all the damage up front. And he didn't worry about picking up, well, I mean, anything else. I was going to buy as many damage items as I can up front before I start combining them into anything. I'm not sure if that was necessarily the most effective thing that he could have done, but at this point, he's kind of moved back into the standard channel of things. He's going to be picking those up. And I just want to point out that was like 3 incredible support plays in a row. Bach landing a max range death sentence onto Ravenite to keep him from continuing and picking up that kill on Socratocracy. Socratocracy being able to stay alive was what allowed him to get a good Shen ult down and keep CTSE alive as he got caught out on the other side of the grasping roots, even though he tried to flash away from that one. But then there was the great grasping roots from Yarius that stopped an engagement, plus the ultimate to just keep Google in that one, allow them to recover and get their forces in order and make a really hard engage at that mid lane.
It really seems like for every play that Riot makes, Google has an answer as Riot makes a push onto this mid turret. Frozen Fire getting caught out, taunt going down as well onto Frozen Fire, but there's the Strangle Thorns. CTSE, though, is going to finally drop him. He gets the equalizer down before he dies, and here comes Ravenite. CTSE going to go down. Tomato Orange going to get credit for that kill, and Ravenite is rolling in, doing what Tryndamere does. And here comes Tristana. Zale doing his best, but there's the reset. That is going to be a triple kill now for Tomato Orange as Zale gets pushed out and pushed into an angry Tryndamere. Tomato Orange kind of threw him under the bus, but Zale is still alive. He's doing his best to continue that trend, but KT Flash, finally the recipient of those double buffs. They bounced around a lot, but that was a full-on ace for 3, and this is going to be a push, push, push for this Lux as Tomato Orange does his best to get back in range. 3, 2, 1, Annie, Nautilus, and Thresh are back up.
That's just such incredible play coming out from Google. They're continuing to time these engages. They recognize the fact that they had no AD carry. Riot Zale was far from the team. They knew that they could force the engagement despite the fact that Frozen Fire was really the one who got caught out. They recognized, they're like, okay, that was bad. We don't have our Rumble, but it's fine. They burned pretty much everything they had, and they don't have MF. Let's keep this going. Let's see what we can pick up. And it turns out what they picked up was a 5-for-3 fight.
They certainly did. They've also picked up a 6,000 gold lead 25 minutes into this game. 15 kills to 12, 5 turrets to 1. Baron has not even been touched yet. They're still fighting over Dragon at this point.
Soccertocracy going to get revealed there. The binding come out, not going to connect with anybody. Google really want to make a fight of this one. And Riot, they're feeling pretty strong. They look like they want to stick around in this one. They know that they can't allow Ravenite to just continue farming up on his Tryndamere, or he's going to become completely unstoppable.
He certainly will be. He's added the Blade of the Ruined King to that static shift, so every single one of those auto attacks, that's what is the measure of a man, what is the measure of a Tryndamere? It's how hard those auto attacks are hitting, and his auto attacks are hitting pretty darn hard at this point. KT Flash getting a whack out onto Soccertocracy, but Soccertocracy fainting it through, grabbing the lantern just for good measure. Bach making the plays, but unfortunately his team has not been able to get a favorable engage yet.
Yeah, KT Flash just keeps poking people down. Get a little light binding, a little loosen singularity. Zale got chunked down pretty low, was able to back up, lifesteal off the wolves and come back out. They do still have this pink warded, so they still have the vision control of the dragon. Riot know what's going on every time they try to come in, and every time Google try to turn and engage, they're there. Ravenite gonna get hooked.
Ravenite getting caught out. There's the bullet time. 2 members getting caught out. CTSE is extremely low. He's been sitting in that equalizer. There's the box. It will not be enough as Ravenite rolls through the team. He's finally going to go down. Bach once again on Ravenite detail. Zale rolling in. He could potentially get a triple. Yes, it is. Could it be a quadra kill? Yes, it will be a quadra kill now, but he pays with his life. So Riot finally getting a favorable exchange. Frozen Fire potentially getting caught out. Yes, the death sentence going out the backwards flay. That is such a difficult thing to do, and Soccertocracy is on the move, trying to drop this very aggravating and very kite Rumble. Rumble's gonna run away. He has that shield and he is beelining towards the enemy tower. He has to go down. He's gonna try and turn this one around, but Frozen Fire's finally gonna go down. Bach picking up a kill. That battle Thresh finally paying dividends, and for the first time in this game, Riot wins a fight barely.
Zale, picking up that quadra kill is just going to be absolutely tremendous. They really needed a huge infusion of gold on their AD carry, and they just got it. The Bloodthirster's done, the Phantom Dancer is done, the Last Whisper is done. It's going to have really, really solid team fight presence from the bullet time. He's also going to have really, really solid team fight presence with the follow-up right clicks, as he now has that extra attack speed and the crit chance. This is going to be a terrifying misfortune, as we're still waiting for Tristana to get through that minor slump she hits in the mid game and move into that late game super carry mode.
Well, Tristana has the Infinity Edge and the Blade of the Ruined King, so she's putting down a lot of pain. But let's see what Zale's going to do. Zale follows up his quadra kill with a single auto attack steal. Ravenite, I don't believe he had his smite up for that one, so.
If he did, he used it early. It's on a relatively short cooldown. He may have used that when they started up.
He might have used it early. I don't think he realized they were coming in, but Zale saw it, gets the pick off, and Riot, they're back into this game. 3,000 gold. Oh, how the times can change.
Exactly. Just like that was so fast. Misfortune. That was probably arguably one of the most casual dragon steals I've ever seen. It's like, oh, what's up? Is that for me? Oh, thanks. Huge light binding.
Riot Zale getting chunked down to 3/4 health. He still has that life steal though, as Bach, let's look at the soul count on Bach. Bach is at about 78 souls, so he is getting mega tanky.
Yeah, he's picking all that up. He's getting so much armor. That's allowing him to just stack a whole bunch of HP. Although so far he's only gone for the Ruby Sidestone. He's picked up a Locket of the Iron Solari as well, so he's able to give a little bit of that shield to his team. Locket of the Iron Solari, along with Thresh's Lantern, is a lot of effective HP all in a burst for his team. If he's able to recognize a big burst of AoE damage coming out, say Lux Ultimate or say Rumble Ultimate, he can just throw down both the Locket and the Lantern at the same time and shield up a huge amount of that burst.
He certainly can. 4,000 gold lead now for this Google squad. And if you look at the micro and the positioning from Riot, they are giving KT Flash's binding so much more respect. He has been hitting a lot less of them because Riot is now ready. They're like, all right, it's probably up. You gotta watch out for it. Okay, he's probably gonna hit it. Oh God, yeah, that hitbox is pretty big. We gotta watch out for that.
Yeah, he's been doing really, really well. So much poke going to be coming out. And once again, he goes for the full combo CTSC drop to almost nothing. I mean, he loses over half of his HP just from one combination. And just like that, CTSC is like, okay, I got to go back. Okay, sorry. I can't really do anything here anymore.
That's what Lux loves to do. She loves to go fishing, potentially get a couple of picks. And that is Google's cue to start pushing. And that is also Raven Knight's cue to start split pushing. Sakatakatsuki is there to respond. He now has the Bulwark and the Sunfire Cape, so he is mega tanky. I just don't know if he can handle the amount of damage coming out from Raven Knight, who's about to pick up his Infinity Edge.
Yeah, once he has that, Shin won't be able to just stand there and 1v1 him anymore. He picked up, he's got the Sunfire Cape, which is going to give him some armor and HP, which is something he's definitely going to need. But he definitely needs a Warden's Mail if he's going to try to continue with this. Dash coming out over the wall. Raven Knight's going to follow.
Raven Knight not able to do anything. The binding does not land. KT Flash just a little bit too much to the left. And CTSC has rejoined his team. He is very close to his death cap. I want to see how these fights are going to change once CTSC gets his death cap and that massive anti-burst power spike.
Here comes the depth charge. They're going to get the initiation now. KT Flash, he's got no way out of this one. The CC is too strong, and Zale picks up a free kill.
As CTSC screams with glee, Tibbers drops on KT Flash's face. And the rest of the Google squad says, okay, we can't go fishing anymore. We're going to back off. And Riot, they got to make a move because Google, they're making a counter move to potentially take down this middle inhibitor.
Yeah, they're moving this out, and Riot are responding by going straight to Baron. If Google stick with this and take the inhibitor down, they'll come out ahead in the exchange if they can take the full inhib, but it doesn't look like they're going to end up going for that. They're backing away. Annie's in the area to protect this, and Riot, if they have enough tank, which so far, you know, Nautilus looks like he's doing a pretty good job, they might be able to pick this down. Google have kind of sniffed this out. They know it's up. The equalizer's down. It's not going to be dealing quite enough damage. Who's going to end up picking it up? And that's actually going to be Riot taking it down as it should be. Raven Knight wants to fight. He's going to come into the middle of the box. He's going to get flayed around. He's going to get so much CC. Trying to chase down to Zale. Zale going to not fall down. Nova Asterix picking up that kill. Riot turn around. They want more.
That was an exceptional peel coming out from the side of Nova Asterix and Bach, making sure that Zale stays alive. That 10-4 and 2 misfortune is something that you definitely want to stay alive. And that looked like a little bit of indecision from Google. They wanted to go for the inhibitor, and they had to react to the Riot Baron. And Riot, they are now making much more deliberate decisions. It seems like they've settled into this game a lot better, and now they're looking to take those global objectives. And with Baron, they can easily do that. I think they've also... I don't think they're used to going up against a Tryndamere, and a jungle Tryndamere at that. So that might have been that surprise factor that played into why they're having so much trouble in the mid game. Now, it seems like they've cracked the code, and they're working their way back into this game.
Not only is it a Tryndamere, not only is it a jungle Tryndamere, but it's a jungle Tryndamere who's tied for the most CS in the game. He is absolutely monstrous right now. The split push has given him so much gold. He's about to finish up the Infinity Edge, but there's a Nautilus on the other side. And that's one thing that we didn't talk about. Tryndamere's Bane is going to be CC, and Nautilus is the CC heaviest champion in the game. He's got so many things that he can do to Tryndamere, and then you combine that with a Thresh, there is a lot of peel going out for Zale, and that's not necessarily peel that likes to dive either. Like, if you have a champion like Leona that has a lot of excellent peel, but also really likes to dive, sometimes you can force that support into making that decision. What do I really want to do? Thresh has some good dive potential, but even if he does dive, the box should be enough to buy a little bit of extra time to keep Raven Knight off of MF.
So Riot grouping up in this mid lane, continuing to push. It seems to be all the action's going to be happening in the mid lane. The side lanes are very much neglected at this point, but Raven Knight, as you said, in the bottom lane. Nova Asterix, though, look how much shield he has. His shield plus the Thresh shield, and Sakatocracy is lurking in the jungle trying to potentially get a pick.
One of the best things about Google's composition is the fact that they have Lux to wave clear and to keep pressure off of towers. It's really hard to group up and push against the Lux, much as it's very difficult to group up and push against an Anivia. That's buying Raven Knight all the time he needs to continue applying pressure in the side lane, continue getting bigger, and continue splitting up Riot's forces.
With Sakatocracy getting pretty big himself, he is working towards that Randuin's own, and Raven Knight doing his best to try and chunk him down, but Sakatocracy matching him blow for blow as he forces the ultimate out from Ravenite, and that was Ravenite's wild card. As soon as that Undying Rage goes out, Ravenite, he doesn't have that trump card. He can't push the way he used to, and he's backing off at this point as Sakatakashi does what he does best, pushing, and the engage coming out now from Riot.
It's really tough to dive this count. Frozen Fire going to get hit by the Summon Timbers. He'll fall down to CTSE's damage. Riot Zale's in the front line, going to get ulted back by Tristana. As Tristana falls, we see Nova Asterix diving in under the tower. We'll be able to pick up the kill onto Zyra. Riot end up picking up a 3-for-0 fight, and now they're pushing in on the inhibitor tower.
But while they're doing that, Ravenite in the top lane in the bottom lane is continuing to pressure this inhibitor. So it looks like it actually might be an inhibitor for an inhibitor. Homeguard Boots going out, trying to potentially stop this inhibitor. Ravenite's going to do his best XPK, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Inhibitor going down in the mid lane for Riot. Will Ravenite be able to drop the inhibitor? He's trying to do it, but his Undying Rage is down, and Sakatakashi finally gets a little bit of karmic retribution, dropping Ravenite, and it looks like Riot actually going to be able to take down Nexus turret #1, and they've taken the gold lead. This is supposed to be an exhibition, but it is turning into an incredibly high-quality game from both sides.
Exactly. Google rolled the dice on that one. They took a big gamble. They thought maybe we can stall them out just long enough for Tryndamere to get more out of his split push than they'll get out of their combined push. They weren't able to do so. He couldn't even take down the inhibitor. They lose one of their Nexus towers. They lose an inhibitor. They're about to lose the dragon. They lose all the map control that comes from having mid lane pushed in again and again. Lux ultimate going to be a little bit too early. They're not going to be able to steal that away. Riot are looking like they're in a really good position to take this game down as they pick up their, I want to say this is the first lead of the game, certainly the first lead that's this significant in the game. 2,500 gold up at the 35-minute mark.
Oh, it definitely is their first lead of the game, and Zale definitely took that kill as the snare going down onto Orange, but the disengage, once again, Riot's old nemesis, snares.
That was two amazing bindings coming out there for both Flash and Yarius. They got the light binding down, and then the grasping root. CTSE gonna get caught out. The ultimate will land CTSE. He's got no HP. They're gonna go for the equalizer as well, hoping for a little cheeky snipe kill. Not gonna end up finding anything for CTSE there, but they will push him back to the base. He's not gonna be able to stick around, and that might be enough to forestall this Riot push.
CTSE actually giggled after doing that because Bach was able to save him, and that is going to be the bottom outer inhibitor finally going down for Riot. It seems like all of the action has been mid that bottom outer turret got completely neglected. 2,000 gold lead now for Riot, 23 kills to 18, 6 turrets all, but the all-important game changer is that middle inhibitor, as well as the Nexus turret, because Google has to handle it as Sakatakashi goes up top lane to handle Ravenite.
CTSE is here as well. The random is only going down. They're trying to chase down the Ravenite. Ravenite going to pop the Ghost. Recognizes that if he gets stunned up by Annie, he's not going to be long for this world. Going to go ahead and Ghost disengage from that one. But again, Google, they're not bringing enough pressure on the split push to really stop what Riot are doing.
Frozen Fire getting hooked out. The Stranglethorns are going to be hitting all three members, but Sakatakashi is coming in on the Stadium 9. The box going out. Bach goes extremely low, and Bach slaying Frozen Fire. Zale on a killing spree. Sakatakashi getting knocked out of this fight. And CTSE, meanwhile, is actually in a 1v1 duel with Ravenite. Ravenite coming out on top of that one, but his team is not so lucky. That is going to be a 3-for-2 exchange in favor of Riot. Once again, 3,000 gold, and the Super Minions keep on pushing.
Mutually assured destruction up there near the top lane, and just gotta love the Shin taunt coming down. He showed up at just the right time, was able to turn that engagement for Riot and just really help them clean up a lot of kills they may not have gotten. And a little unfortunate that Bach forgot about the Zyra passive. Zale gonna get locked up.
Zale potentially going to get locked up. He's extremely low, but Sakatakashi going to pick up the kill on Tomato Orange, and Zale is playing with fire at this point, or I guess light, if you want to call it that. And Flash not able to convert the kill. Zale now with the Warmogs. We didn't even talk about the Warmogs buy. That has been a huge factor in his damage output.
They're going to try to rush back and defend this tower as quickly as they can as the super creeps are pushing in. That's the thing. The Google team are on the clock. Like, not only do they, as far as the team fights go, not only do they have to come out ahead in the team fight, but they also have to make sure that someone's back in the base to keep this open middle lane from just pushing in and taking down towers. Lots of free damage is going to be a huge problem for them in the future. And I don't know. I don't know what they can do to actually force really, really fast team fights and pick up lots of good kills. Because, I mean, they have Flash, like they have, or they KT Flash, they have Lux. That's a lot of burst damage. But with MF picking up a Warmogs and now actually has a Zephyr as well, so there's tenacity, they're not going to have that opportunity to just take MF off the field. It's just not going to be available to them. And Riot, they're going back in for another Baron.
Riot making the adjustments necessary to get back into this game and now take a lead. They're also going to get a Baron. The inhibitor is there. Flash is just short on the Baron. I don't think he actually even hit that. And that is going to be Baron number 2 for Riot Games. Remember, Baron number 1 was the beginning of this massive momentum shift as Riot moves as a pack.
They're going to go ahead and clean
caught
up
up by
more. Light Binding coming out. And they're going to go ahead and back away from this one. Riot, they've got the Baron buff. They've got the advantage right now. They're up. It's only a 4,000 gold lead because of how well Google did in the early game. But at this point, Riot, they maintained their poise. They maintained their composure. They played their composition as well as they could. And now they're starting to get to a really scary phase of the game.
They certainly are. Double Randuins and double Bulwark coming up from Nova Ostrix and Soccertocracy. They know where the damage is coming from, those auto attacks. So they are going to be making sure that Tryndamere and Tristana are not going to be able to be as mobile as they want. Ravenite, once again, giving it another go as the Randuin's going down to Soccertocracy, losing this battle, and he knows that I think he's actually going to go down. But while that's happening, the rest of Riot are pressuring down on his turret. Soccertocracy, I think he's actually going to be able to get out of there, and he's probably going to home guard. Yeah, he's going to home guard and go back in.
Yeah, the Randuin's just too strong. I feel like we've been here before. All of this has happened before, and maybe all of this will happen again. Soccertocracy doesn't have the Randuins active this time, so he can't really slow Ravenite down. Ravenite's going to turn back around as he falls low. He's just line stealing as hard as he can. Soccertocracy, he's going to maybe fall down this time. There's the chicken shout, and Ravenite picks up the kill. That's going to open up the inhibitor for him as well. And Riot, they're going to have to come up with an answer, and it looks like they don't have one.
They really don't, because Ravenite's just going to walk all the way up to their Nexus. He's going to take as many turrets as he possibly can. This is giving me PTSD flashbacks of AP Tryndamere when he would do exactly this. He would never leave his lane. He would just stack AP, and he would never die, always win. It was horrible. It was horrible, and it's back. Except in AD form this time.
And just like that, the building score has been evened up. The fans are starting to get into this. They're recognizing these signs of life from Google. Both teams have one inhibitor down and one Nexus tower down. At this point, Google have evened this back up. A 4,000 gold advantage at the 40-minute mark. That's the threshold of what makes a significant gold advantage. It's not really all that big at this point. And if they're able to continue split pushing with Ravenite, they're going to be just fine.
They will, but right now, 41 minutes in, 3,000 gold is all that separates these teams. And at 41 minutes in, that means nothing. Zale getting caught out by Ravenite. This could potentially be the game if he goes down. The shutdown finally from Ravenite. I want to see what Google is going to do in response, because Ravenite is an absolute monster, and he has double buff.
Yeah, that was the Blade of the Ruined chicken shout there. There's really nowhere you can go as Misfortune against this extremely mobile Tryndamere at that point. And Ravenite, I kind of called him out for being the MVP of Game 3 in the series against Amazon. So far, his split push and his damage output whenever he finds him in an isolated 1v1 target, it's been doing so much work at keeping Google in this one.
As the flash firing off, some more Lux cooldowns, and it's like deja vu. We've definitely been here before. Bach getting caught out. He's going to go down. Equalizer going down as well. Well, actually, no, sorry. He's going to survive, but the Stand United going to lock Ravenite up. They have to drop Ravenite. The Undying Rage is there. I don't know. Oh, my God. He'll get him with the last turret hit. So the Riot squad able to keep Ravenite locked up as long as possible under the turret, and I think they're going to be able to fend this one off. So that was a 1-for-2. Bach finally going down. I think the burn got him. He's able to get out of that initial death, but death followed him.
I kind of wonder if he had actually walked back towards the tower and let the tower hit him while the Lux shield was still up, if that would have been enough to keep him alive. Like, I kind of wonder, that was one of those situations where he delayed that damage actually being applied by backing up so much that the Lux shield faded, and he took the full brunt of that damage. I'm not sure if that would have been enough. That was like right at the very, very tiptoe line. But Ravenite falling down was a huge boon to Riot, because if he hadn't gone down, the fact that Zale hadn't respawned yet would have meant that that middle inhibitor tower probably would have gone down.
That is absolutely true. 17 seconds to go on Ravenite, so Riot. Zale actually grabbing the Furor boots to make sure to give himself a little bit more mobility. As if he didn't already have enough with the Zephyr, he's going to be going for a little bit more. So he is at full build at this point. 294 minion kills, 12 kills, 5 deaths, and 6 assists. On the other hand, that other 80 carry, he's close. Not quite there yet, but he's getting there once he has that major attack speed item could potentially go for a ship just for more wave clear, because hey, why not? For the Phantom Dancer, it depends. That's the cool thing about the Season 3 items, is there are a lot more options, especially for AD carries.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. We talked about the Warmogs earlier. It's the anti-burst item. Like, you just don't want to get caught up by Lux and die. But I really think even at this point in the game that Raven Knight is kind of the bigger threat. So I was surprised not to see that turn into a Randuin's Omen instead of the Warmogs. Instead, he's going to just try to mitigate the CC with the Zephyr. If he can slow down, or if he can reduce the duration of the slow from the Blade of the Ruin King and from the Mocking Shout, then just rely on Fervor, the Fervor enchantment to give him all the move speed he needs to continue just running away and just kiting out the Tryndamere. That's the tact he's gone for this game, to try to avoid getting bursted down by Raven Knight and actually survive those fights and those dives.
Oh man, look how fast he is. I'm gonna wait until this this movement speed
comes up.
He's at 509.
Yeah.
That's insane. Zephyr plus Strut plus Phantom Dancer plus level 2 boots plus Fur equals a super fast Misfortune.
Yeah, he run around all over the place. Raven Knight and Soccertocracy, we're gonna go at it again.
That's going to be a 1v1 that I don't think Soccertocracy is going to be able to win. Flash getting some good pain down on a Nova Ostrix, but Nova Ostrix is so darn tanky that the Randuin's forward, Spirit of the Ancient Golem, and those level 5 boots, who's going to be able to run around on those stubby little legs.
Just going to hustle his way on out of that one. At this point, both teams, I feel, are just waiting for the Baron to come back up. I think that they recognize that any sort of misplay at this stage of the game could be just absolutely awful. They could lose inhibitors, they could lose Baron, they could lose basically the entire game with one misstep. And because of that, they're playing a little bit more passively, a little bit more carefully. They've done so much work at making this show match a really good exhibition of the skill and what these teams are capable of. They don't want to give that up now.
Both of these teams are exceptionally competitive. They wouldn't be here if they weren't. So it's not just about putting on a good show. They want to win. Doesn't matter, nothing's at stake. They want to win. Nova Ostrix getting caught up by Raven Knight. Look at that pain coming out. And he actually misses the hook, but Raven Knight backing off immediately. Bach is there to respond, but he can't do a whole lot as the inhibitor, both inhibitors respond. So we are neck and neck once again.
They're just like Raven Knight, he's actually drawn 2 people up to the top lane. If Google are able to capitalize on this, if they can start a team fight right now, they might have an advantage.
Raven Knight taking some turret hits, now going onto the minion. There's the bounce going down on Raven Knight. Raven Knight now has 3 people, but this bottom inhibitor is going to go down. Tomato Orange getting credit for the kill. CTSE actually getting caught out, getting Kuma stomped immediately. He's going to go down, shut down for Tomato Orange. And the team is just going to back off as the Stand United goes down onto Zale. But Raven Knight once again getting caught out. There's the flash. There is the Undying Rage from Raven Knight. They need to stall this one out. He wants to go through the wall. I think he's actually going to be able to get out of there. The exhaust being burned, but it will not be enough as an inhibitor unanswered for Google, and they're going to pick up a blue buff as a bonus.
That was so cleanly played. They were able to trade their support for the opposing mid laner. Dragon is back up as well, so Raven Knight will get a nice little bit of life steals. He goes down and chunks this down. You can see he's like, what attack speed debuff? What? No, I still attack like twice a second. Don't even sweat it. I'm fine.
This is just jungle. This is Tryndamere at his finest. He is at full build himself, and that is the sort of balancing factor of Tryndamere is don't let him get items. Oh, he got items? Oh, well, good luck.
You see, I was kind of concerned that Riot were going to go for a little bit of a cheeky Baron there. You can use Thresh to hook into the Baron pit and then the Lantern to pull somebody else along with them. The Baron just respawned and they knew that Google had to go back, but they didn't know how quickly they went back. They didn't know how quickly they were going to come back to the field, so they didn't want to try to go for it. And that was a very, very wise decision, as they would have gotten caught out, and they probably would have lost the game right there. However, Google, recognizing that if they're able to get the team fight they want, if they can get Raven Knight in a good 1v1 on the opposing AD carry, they can pick up the win right away. Also recognizing the fact that they're the team that has the inhibitor advantage. The bottom lane has super creeps coming in. If they can force Riot to respond to them at Baron, they can win the game just on the creeps pushing down the buildings.
They're definitely looking to bait Riot into something, and there are so many different threat factors to keep into account on the side of Google. They've really created a team composition that can do that. Riot is a little bit more of a support squad built around those 2 carries, CTSE and Zale. But right now, this late in the game, Annie and Misfortune are not the major threats that they were in the mid game. They're not going to be able to 100-0 someone as fast as they could. And now Google working towards this Baron, and I'm not sure if Riot can really respond.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and just try to burst this down as quickly as they can. You see the Baron is starting, it's at about 8,000 HP right now. They're going to back away. They want to try to force the fight.
CTSE getting caught out, actually, and he's going to zone use the laser. He is potentially looking for the counter initiate. There's the bounce KT Flash. Counter zone using. There is the ultimate being burned, but Ravenite is rolling in on top of everyone. He dives in. He's trying to get Zale. Zale is kiting like a boss. Ravenite going down. Sakatakashi getting credit for that kill. Tomato Orange going to be able to kill CTSE. Nova Asterix locking up Tomato Orange as best he can. Zale is still alive, but he's extremely low. And there he is going down. Flash getting credit for that kill. And Bach is the last man standing. Stand United being popped onto Bach. And Tomato Orange rolls in, gets snared. Will he be able to go down? The taunt is down, the box is down, and Tomato Orange is down. Bach getting that kill, but there are still 2 threats alive. Riot, that support squad, I'm going to eat my words because they are team fighting with the best of them. Bach getting the credit down under Frozen Fire. He actually solos him. How is he doing this? The Lantern, he's giving Sakatakashi the option, but Flash taking him out. So a bloody 3 for 3. And Riot, once again with the counter engage off of the clutch Zonias from CTSE. Sakatakashi getting chased down by Flash. And he could potentially go down. No, he's not going to go down. He has no health left, sub 100. Nova Asterix is going to do his best.
That was the third Lux laser of the fight. That was literally the third Lux laser of the fight. Just so many ultimates coming out. And I want to give huge props to Yarius once again. That Stranglethorns on the ramp stopped Riot from initiating altogether. They were not able to get in onto that fight. They were not able to burst down the targets they wanted. Ravenite got a little bit too antsy though. He tried to dive in. He thought he saw the dollar signs on Riot Zale, but he just got locked up too hard. Could not chase her down. Too much move speed coming out. And that was all she wrote for that Tryndamere. As we see the... Hang on, the Zephyr is gone, and it's wait, I already had the Phantom Dancer. Is that the IE? The IE got picked up to replace it.
Yeah, that's an IE. So Zale knows that he's gonna have to carry. He can't play a little bit more utility, run around and catch people anymore. He's just gotta pump that damage out, and pump it out he will. He's at 340 AD, so bullet time is gonna be crushing for about 200 a hit almost, and that's gonna be about 5 or 6 hits.
Yeah, probably.
Pretty solid hit. Nova Asterix getting caught up by Ravenite. The Flash being forced out, but it is a bait! It is a bait! Ravenite, he has 5 seconds of invulnerability left. He gets knocked up, and is he going to go down? Yes, he will! The Equalizer being burned as well, and Sakatakashi is going for the chase down. Riot could make something happen. These are the catches that you need in the late game, because the Equalizer is down, and so is one of their biggest threats with that jungle Tryndamere.
Sakatakashi recognizing that right now the big threat is Tristana, has picked up a Thorn Mail for himself to go along with that giant stack of HP he's built. That's going to be, even for Tristana, it's going to be tough to get through that. She's going to be losing, that's a little bit of HP, but mostly it's going to be the fact that Shin's just got so much armor. He's never going to go down at all.
And the Timbers is still up, so we could potentially see this. Bach is looking for a death sentence. He's taking a lot of pain as a result. He's almost dead, actually. This could be Google's cue to go in. Sakatakashi is back, but his Stand United is up as KT Flash is on a killing spree. That is going to be Nova Asterix's cue. The Timbers goes down. Stand United is there. Sakatakashi is coming in. He's full up. That's going to be a double kill for Zale. Zale is doing work at this point. He's doing his best to orb walk in. Flash is in. He's going to drop Frozen Fire for a triple kill, and that is going to be an inhibitor going down for Riot. They're pushing in. Ravenite has 12 seconds. Riot has to end now.
Yeah, they really need to pick this up as quickly as they can. The inhibitor's about to fall down the bottom lane again. Zale caught out. All the burst isn't enough. That Warlock's doing so much work. KT Flash, he's the only one left. Can he hold the line? The
He's not the only one up because here comes Ravenite. Ravenite's rolling in and he sees Zale. That is going to be a dead misfortune, and Sakatakashi is next. It's just going to be a snare. A couple of auto attacks. The Shadow Dash going out, but Ravenite responds. One more hit will do it, and that is going to be an extended ace for Google. This match just keeps going back and forth. 52 minutes into this game, 78,000 gold to 80,000 gold. But you know what? Throw the gold out. These guys are basically at full builds. It's down to heart, and it's down to team fight.
And it's down to Tryndamere. I mean, that's really what it's coming down to. The creeps pushed down the bottom inhibitor while that fight was going on. We see the top inhibitor tower falls down. There's not a single inhibitor tower left on this side. Ravenite's going to queue up on this inhibitor. If he can get both of these inhibs down, then Riot are going to have to defend their base with nothing but one Nexus tower and no inhibitors. And that's a nearly impossible situation to battle back from. But you have to say, a lot of what's going on in this game has been nearly impossible. So never count anything out.
I think that Riot might have had a little bit of miscommunication, because considering how far ahead they were, they could have potentially ended this. But look at Ravenite. Oh my God, that's terrifying.
He's just look at him. What do you even call this guy? I mean, he's just unstoppable. Infinity Edge is there. The Blade of the Ruin King. He has
right
a Zephyr.
He's a right arm.
He's just a giant
He's
right arm.
He's a walking right arm at this point. Look at this. Just, there's nothing better to say as the Baron just evaporates.
Yeah, even with the Baron AD debuff onto Raven Knight, he's attacking so fast that even if he only has 160 AD, it's not really a big deal. Google going to go ahead. They grab up the Baron. They've got 2 inhibitors down. The 3rd inhibitor is exposed. They're going to group up. They're going to try to push in this mid lane, and this could be the end of Riot.
This could very well be the end of the Riot, as both of these lanes, mid and bottom, are being pushed. That top inhibitor is exposed, so Raven Knight could just walk it in with the support of his team. I think his team is tired of having him go in alone. They're going to say, all right, we'll give you a little bit of CC to help you out. And Riot knows that they're doing their best to farm. They've been doing a pretty good job of pushing their mid turret out, but now it's just a matter of they're going to go fishing. Google's just going to go fishing and wait. They have Baron. It's only a matter of time before they're able to push in. They're going to wait for this the bottom lane to push out and then go for the top, that final inhibitor, the nail in the coffin, so to speak, on this exhibition match.
Exactly. Earlier on, Google were the ones that were on the clock. They had to get their team fights in. They had to get their team fights done quickly, and they had to get back out to defend their base. At this point, 2 inhibitors down to the side of Riot mean that Google can take all the time they like. As long as they make sure that the super minions in the mid lane don't push back out and even the lane up, they're going to have that big push advantage down in the bottom lane, and they can just siege up top for as long as they like.
Man, I really wish this were a best of 3.
I kind of do too. But
we wouldn't be done until midnight, but it'd be great.
We're going to go out the light binding on a Nova Asterix. Just going to throw up a big shield from Sun to be fine. Death Sentence on a Frozen Fire. This could be the fight.
Nova Asterix baiting out the Stranglethorns. He's getting hit with the brunt of it, but he's the tanky tank. He's completely okay with that. Stranglethorns is no longer a factor. But while that's been happening, Raven Knight's actually looking to take out the Nexus turret. Equalizer getting dropped out. Raven Knight is going to go down. The rest of Google needs to make something happen. And Riot, Nova Asterix getting knocked out. CTSE is rolling in. The Tibbers gets dropped. The laser is going to be able to take out CTSE. Bach misses the death sentence as the flash comes out from Yaris. And we are back to reset, but Riot's base is in shambles, and Google still has Baron buff. They can walk this one back in. Life Binding going out, just missing Bach, but look at those auto attacks coming out from Tomato Orange, just chunking him down, and that is going to be a quick pause coming out.
Hopefully we'll be able to get this sorted out very quickly, see what's going on with the chat. Okay, wait, no. Oh, nobody said anything. I thought I heard a chat. Oh, there we go, they're ready. Okay, we're going to have a little short pause here, just a little short pause. Oh man, this game.
All right,
what do you even say?
Unpaused.
All right, here we go. Coming back in for the resume. There's no inhibitors up. There's no Nexus Tower at all. Any defense that's going to be going on the Riot base is going to have to come from Riot champions, and we'll see if Google can capitalize on that.
They will, and then the Death Sentence going down onto Frozen Fire. Frozen Fire getting chunked down by Riot Zale, and this is going to be a full-on chase from the Riot squad. Can Google disengage? Can they disengage? There's the flash Death Sentence. Yari is getting caught out. The snares will not be enough, and Zale picking up another kill. He's 16, 7, and 11 at this point, but Riot can't really do a whole lot because their base is getting completely destroyed. Death Sentence going down onto Tomato Orange. Tomato Orange is going to hop up, but he will continue to get hit, and Pop putting the pain down on Tomato Orange. That is a battle thresh. Flash coming out, and Pop so low. He's finally down, but KT Flash is unstoppable. Zale's running in, but guess who's back? Raven Knight, he is up, and he is going to come back with a vengeance. I honestly think that he could probably walk in and kill the Nexus just walking in and auto-attacking it.
Yeah, Raven Knight's probably praying that he had a teleport right now. He's probably just so angry he doesn't have a teleport available. He could X-Pecate this so very, very quickly as he takes us down, and I don't know what it's going to take to actually stop him. He's coming out. He's got 418 CS at this point. His only rival is actually Riot Zale with 415 CS in the MF. These two are by far the most farm champions we've seen pretty much in the entirety of the tournament. Sakura Takasi is doing what he can to forestall these double super minions coming in with every single wave. You take down all three Nexuses, or inhibitors rather, all three Nexuses, oh my. Take down all 3 inhibitors, you get double super minions on every wave. They have to have someone back, and Shen is the only one who's being able to do so right now.
While that's been happening, Raven Knight getting caught out by Nova Asterix. He gets knocked up, but there really is no follow-up there. The effective HP being popped. The locket by Nova Asterix because he is afraid of that burn, and I would be too. Mid lane being pushed out, but bottom and top are just getting completely shredded. Oh my god,
Super
is the Nexus gonna go down? Oh my god! Sakura Takasi is not able to handle the Nexus, and wow, what a finish. At the end of the day, it just... The inhibitors were just too much, and so was that walking right arm.
It turns out that the only thing that can beat Riot Games is their own creation. The super minions pushing in on the base, just chunking it down. Socratocracy doing everything he could, but there's just not enough consistent damage coming out from Shen. Fantastic play from Ravenite. I gave him, for me, the MVP in Game 3 of the series. And once again, the split push, forcing Riot to split their forces, not allowing them to ever group up and try to plunge in and pick up the kill in the base. Beautiful, beautiful play.
And it's great to see both teams laughing. I'll bet Riot says, man, I can't believe we just got beat by a jungle Tryndamere. But look at his stats. He's got 22,000 gold. The only person who had more gold than him was Zale. Zale had 421 minion kills. Ravenite had 421 minion kills. And he's the jungler. This is insane. And actually, on the back of that, that is going to do it for us today for League of Legends. On behalf of Malthus X, I'm Jaws. Thank you so much for hanging out. For those of you that missed it, it was Google taking out Amazon 2-1 and Riot Games putting up a strong fight against those champions, Google. But the jungle Tryndamere was far too strong, that right arm. And coming up next, it's going to be the very own, the very famous, and the very awesome Day 9 with Husky StarCraft, and they're going to be doing your StarCraft 2 finals.